If you look at the explosion of devices and the explosion of data, the explosion of video, all of these point to something where you need scalable architecture and you need the resiliency and the openness of that architecture to be able to manage this growth.
At the same time, we have applications that are being assembled very quickly to tap into that data to bring new services, new applications that make use of that data that we've never seen before.
MuleSoft provides an integration platform. So if you think about connecting the world's applications, data, and devices together, we provide a platform that does that. As everything shifts to the cloud, the definition of your IT resources, your data, everything is spread, and you become this composite company. And so your ability to win or lose in the marketplace is dependent on how well you stitch all of these different components together. Companies like Uber and Twitter and Facebook and Amazon, they've set a new bar for the world about kind of what they expect and how connected everything needs to become. For us, we feel like the fundamental transformative event that's happened for MuleSoft is the API. APIs are basically opening up data everywhere and providing a way that you can actually productize that connectivity. We see this as the biggest opportunity that has ever happened in IT. The estimates are that it's somewhere around $593 billion are being spent every year doing point-to-point integration. We're out to take $593 billion in pain and really productize that and make it so that people are using a product as opposed to hand wiring it.
The successful companies that we're seeing within our enterprise portfolio are taking advantage of an open source movement in some way or another. And the successful ones will actually embrace the community, but also innovate around it to find ways to make money and create lasting businesses.
We have an open source kernel that's Mule that provides kind of the orchestration for integration capabilities, and then we have everything we've built around it, everything that sits in the cloud, all of our high availability, security capabilities, everything that big companies need to run our software is commercial.
When corporations and organizations thought about open source, the knock on open source until recently really was, it's open source. You don't have quality, you don't have service. If I'm adopting open source, what if something goes wrong with the software? Who do I call? It's tough to call a community, right? But now what you've had is you have companies that are building products and modules and services on top of open source. So a lot of the issues have been addressed.
Being an open source company does present a set of challenges. You need to be very diligent about how you think about what you put in open source and what you have commercially. For us, I think we've done an exceptionally good job of that.
Big data today is dominated by open source, except Google, Microsoft, and to some extent Amazon. All other companies who are using big data technologies, they are using open source technologies.
As we all know, data needs to be consumed in real time in the world that we live in today. And without question, the preeminent solution for real-time data processing is the Spark project. It's basically game over. Databricks is the company behind the Spark project.
Apache Spark is the most active big data project, more active than Hadoop and many other projects. Spark is really an ecosystem which consists of many components to support different big data workloads, starting from batch processing, streaming, interactive query processing, and sophisticated computation such as machine learning and graph algorithms. So we started Databricks to make it possible for every company to turn their data into value. In order to put together this big data pipeline, you need to stitch together a set of disjointed, hard-to-use tools, as you need to manage them. What Databricks provides you is provides one system which allows you to implement this pipeline end-to-end on this one platform. We are talking about not only managing, but processing the data. And we are talking about something which will create new industries and disrupt every existing industry. 2 decades from now, the big data market arguably will be much bigger than the database. It will be trillions of dollars. So it's a huge opportunity.
That's what really gets me excited. It's all of these new applications that can be built on the cloud that don't just displace prior IT spend, but actually allow really flexible organizations to move faster, be more efficient, more productive, in ways that didn't really ever previously involve technology.
MongoDB is an open source next generation database company, and our database platform enables companies to build highly scalable, high performance applications. Every business today is leveraging technology to drive their value proposition. Applications are the heart of their business. Applications are moving from systems of record to systems of engagement and essentially driving their revenue. And how those applications are built and designed become really, really important. 90% of the world's information was created in the last 2 years. So applications today are generating an enormous amount of data. The type of data is very different today. 40 years ago, it used to be very tabular data. Now it's unstructured and structured data. Videos, graphics, unstructured text is majority of the data in applications today. That data changes a lot. So the velocity of change is incredibly high. So the existing architectures just couldn't handle these changes, and that's why MongoDB was built. We are now ranked as the number 4 database in the market, and the top 3 vendors have been around for more than 25 years. So we are clearly catching up to the incumbents.
If you're not able to have a lightweight, agile, open architecture such that you can capture the value inherent in these phenomena, you're going to have silos. Silos are going to develop where you can't break that free and you can't understand the data. You're going to be part of that generation of companies that slowly fade away. One byproduct of how the new enterprise is getting created these days is this concept of shared resources. When you have an open architecture, you'll have, for example, you'll have web servers now that can be shared, and you also need load balancing in order to be able to properly share them. Well, that's where NGINX comes in.
5 years ago, everyone was about reducing cost of IT. Now it's all about speed to market. There are so many disruptors coming up in many different industries that no one's safe. And so everyone is trying to get new applications, new features, new functions out as quickly as possible. NGINX is all about speed. Speed of the application, but also speed to market. We're a combination of networking and application delivery, and you put those two markets together, it's a $13 billion market opportunity. Many people use NGINX every day and don't know it. We power almost 50% of the top 10,000 busiest websites in the world. So for example, when you go to Amazon.com and you type in Nike shoe, there are over 170 micro apps that get triggered in a second that give you pricing of the product, that give you images of those products, that gives you reviews of those products. All of those are individual applications that are triggered when you type in Nike shoe. That happens by that connective glue of HTTP connecting those apps together. And that's the role that NGINX plays in the modern web. I think open source is the way of developing software of the future. It allows your customers to participate in the technology that you're building. It allows them to help you innovate and improve the technology. I get to talk to the fastest growing companies in the world, Netflix, Hulu, Pinterest, those type of companies. What I see in their application environments are all open source tool sets, NGINX, Docker, MongoDB. I'm not seeing your traditional vendors, your IBMs, your Microsofts, your Oracles, your Red Hats even in those environments. Right? The tools today, these are incredibly lightweight, high-performance tools. These are the new tools of the future for application development environments.
Each of these companies are similar in that they have built on an open source technology, which is very innovative, yet they've also found a way to make money. We've been involved with some of the most iconic companies, cloud companies in Salesforce and Workday and Tableau and others, where we've seen the playbook. And we know how that playbook is run, and we've been able to strike and move quickly when we see new opportunities.
We think that trend will continue. If you look at our portfolio now, we see some tremendous companies that we think in 3-5 years will become that next cohort of market-leading and market-changing companies. So we've done it before. We have the resources to do it. We know how to do it. We know what not to do as much as what to do. And all of those just play into how we can help build companies and help shape these companies.